नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ऋकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
We will talk now on the subject. You can't hear? We will talk now on the subject of internalizing Vedanta. That is the topic that I had offered for this talk, and so we will see what that means. We have been looking at in the Upadesha Samastri in the last few days a very predominant theme which numerous and very erudite acharyas also fall prey to, which is that something is needing to be done after the gain of knowledge through Shravanam. After Shravanam, something is left to be done. And what is the magic word? What is left to be done? Asankhyanam. So when you delve in doubt, Asankhyanam, that's basically what it is. Asankhyanam, Shabdavrittihi, we saw the definition, keeping on repeating the words of the Mahavakya, the words of the Shastra, which talk about oneness between the helpless, hopeless, graded, faded Jiva and Ishvara. This is exactly the problem here. And that which we see as a Purva Pakshi is actually a very beautiful and an innovative way in the tradition. It's a very innovative way of not internalizing certain problems that we ourselves have, but it is difficult to look at. It's very difficult to look at that. It is very difficult to say, oh, I also have this tendency, feeling empty after Shravanam and wondering what to do to own up this knowledge. Then we will never be able to have that intellectual honesty. So the Shastra has this very innovative way of presenting this person called Purva Pakshi. An ideal typical person, someone other than me, not me. I am a Vedantic, but here is this person, look how foolish. We are able to laugh, we are able to see with a certain distance. Distance means what? Objectivity. We are able to see with objectivity that there is, how can this person be so stupid? How can this person be so foolish? Hasn't this person studied the Shastra? Like this, we are able to have a little bit of a space and without feeling targeted, able to see our own problems. Actually, there is no Purvapakshi other than certain deep rooted. Deep rooted means coming from the unconscious mind. Deep rooted means even I am not aware of it myself. And the Shastra is clever enough to present these unconscious notions, beliefs, ideologies, thoughts, which are inimical to the assimilation of the knowledge as belonging to some person, and then this is what the thing means. And we know certain things about the Purvapakshi in general. What are they? They are extremely persistent. Anybody who has studied Bhashya, we know. So you knock the fellow down, and again, 2 minutes later comes back, same question. Sometimes because they know Shastra, they have disguised it, they have wrapped it, gift wrapped it and tied it. We know that. Then the second thing we know about the Purvapakshi is that so they are persistent. Second, they are very stubborn, unteachable, not teachable at all. They will sit and listen, and then they will become. Has their conclusions changed? Not at all. Same conclusion. Even after lot of Shravanam, same business as usual. Monkey business, that's all. No other business is possible. So then, that's the second thing we know. So first thing, persistent. Second thing, extremely mandu, stubborn. Very, very stubborn. Unwilling to be open to anything else other than their own pet ideology or whatever notions they have. And the third thing, is which may come as a surprise because we don't think of the Purvapakshi in this way generally. We think of the Purvapakshis as being extremely strong, and we have to combat them with all the arsenal of Vedanta left that we have. And we need all these, various kinds of missiles, Mahavakya missiles. We need to direct against them, we think like that. But really, the third and the final point I want to make about the nature of this Purvapakshi, which is our own internalized notions, is that the person is actually a very pathetic and hopeless person. Really speaking, at the end of the discussion, at the end of the day, what we are dealing with is a very sad person. Very sad. And you see, in the Upadesha Sahasri, the verses 6 to 18, 6 to 17, so sad. And that's why holding on to Prasankhyanam for dear life, because there is no other way the person can see. There is a deep sense of internalized hopelessness. This knowledge cannot be as simple as it is stated in the Shastra. It just cannot be possible. It has to be some other way. I have to make it harder for myself. I have to make it much more difficult. Otherwise, it is not possible. And I can't gain this knowledge. This is the conclusion behind all of these people we are studying, all of their views. And and then at the same time we see their persistence and stubbornness and also their agility in using Shruti and then Yukti, Anubhava, all these things they have. So this hopelessness about the owning up of the knowledge is a very, it has an abiding presence in our lives. Not our lives, Purvapakshi's lives. So, it has an abiding presence, and until this is removed, we are not able to make any headway in the study of Vedanta. And half of it is already removed in the Shravanam itself. It is completely removed through studying verses such as the ones we are being exposed to and texts like the Upanishads and other Prakarna Granthas. It is already removed. And then the rest of it I have to prepare, and it is all in the preparation of oneself in order to assimilate and internalize this knowledge. This is not one more method that is needing to be done after Shravanam. That is not the Shravanam itself is the only sadhanam, mukhya sadhanam for Atma Jnanam, for the gain of self-knowledge. The mukhya sadhanam, the only sadhana is what? The only means is listening to it from a qualified teacher. Who is a qualified teacher? The one who can, Shrotriya Brahmanishta, the one who can handle the pramana. The pramana is, it has to be handled. Otherwise, the Upanishad is what? Shabda Rashi, a heap of words. And then converting the heap of words into an active, dynamic knowledge in the form of Akhandakara Vritti, which can be internalized. That is the job of the teacher. That is what is called Mahavakya Upadesha Atra Guru. That is the definition of Guru. And so this itself is the necessary and sufficient condition for the gain of self-knowledge, which results in the immediate and total removal of samsara. What is samsara? Some sorrow or another. And then the one who is subject to this sorrow, very, very samsari, very, very sorry. All the time sorry. Samsari. Okay. So now that we have the definitions out of the way, this is English Vyutpatti. So then we have...
That's why you couldn't follow.
English Vyutpatti, that's why I thought I'll tell. Some sorrow or the other, the one has, samsara is some sorrow or the other. But samsari is the one who is very, very sorry when all the time. Yeah? And then, so this is what we have to look at this, that the Shravanam itself is enough, necessary condition, sufficient condition. And then in the piece where this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana discussion comes, Yagyavalkya tells his wife, Maitreyi, Atmavare Shrotabhyaha. Then Mantavyaha. That is not necessary unless there are doubts. If there are no doubts, why? Because the person is Shamadhiman. Shamadhama, etc. is there. So therefore there are no doubts, no pratibandhas are there, ragadveshas are taken care of, unconscious mind is not coming in the way and doing monkey mischief, and so therefore what? The internalization of the knowledge takes place. Mananam is not necessary. And then what is after Mananam, what is recommended? Nididhyasana. So Mananam itself is not necessary, Nididhyasana is also not necessary. For whom? For the adhikaris that are there in the pages of the Upanishads. Nachiketa only needed 9 classes. And until 9 classes he said, Bhuya eva bhagavan idhyaparitu. Please tell me this again. Please tell me this again. And after 9th time, chup, quiet. Nothing he said. He was just got up and walked away. And then, so those are the adhikaris that are called Uttama adhikaris, and they are where? In the pages of the Upanishads. And maybe a few in the world also, the Mahatmas like Pujya Swamiji and others who are there. And then that is one end of the continuum. Then on the other end, who do we have? Adhama adhikaris. Who are there? They are also in the pages of the Upanishads. Yeah. They are also not really there. This is a continuum that is built up. So which Upanishad? There are no Upanishad. The whole Upanishad has been taught, and this gentleman says what? Upanishadam bho bruhi. I have a question. Oh revered sir, please teach me the Upanishad. And the teacher, from the teacher's response, we learn how to teach from seeing this teacher's response. Because otherwise, what is the instinctive feeling? What is wrong with you? What were you doing all this time? How come you didn't understand that the whole Upanishad has gone by? Don't come to the class if you want to sleep. This is what one would feel like saying. But not the Vedanta Acharya. Vedanta Acharya just says, Ukta te Upanishad. I have already taught you, oh dear fellow, I have taught you the Upanishad. Not a single judgment, not a single comment on what on earth were you doing. Because the teacher recognizes that there is some problem. If there were no problem, this kind of a question would not arise. The teacher sees the background, the teacher sees the non-preparation and is extremely patient. And then does not even make the fellow feel bad in front of the whole class. But now I'll tell you something. Something else I'll tell you, by which you can internalize this a little more. And then he gives this some sadhanas the teacher gives. So like this, the adhama adhikari, the lowly kind of person to whom it is, this knowledge is not at all speaking to, is there also in the pages of the Upanishad. Then, where are the rest of the people? Somewhere in the middle. Madhyama adhikarina. These are all Madhyama adhikaris, meaning what? Meaning some preparation is there and we can feel very good about it. Shama check, Rama check. Uparati not so much, working on it. And so like this we can make a list and we can have this there. And certain things, certain qualifications are in the bag, so to speak, already gained. In the bag, zipped up, locked up, and certain others are in the process of being gained. Certain other qualifications, I'm still learning how to spell. The spelling itself is not coming. So this comprises what is called Madhyama Adhikaris. And this is important to see, so that we can, and to these Madhyama Adhikaris, alone the Purva Pakshis and the Purva Pakshas, etc., all these speak to us. Because the Shravanam itself, it is enough. It's not that it's not enough. In fact, Shravanam alone produces knowledge. Meaning produces means it doesn't produce. It dismisses ignorance. And the knowledge which is already there shines. Like a copper pot without the veneer. And so this is basically what is the Shravanam. So it's not that Shravanam hasn't worked. If there is a gap, and that gap is because of certain doubts. And what are the doubts? The doubts are looked upon from two standpoints. Doubts centered on the Pramana. What is Pramana? Shabda Pramana, means of knowledge. Shabda Pramana, doubt centered on Shabda Pramana. Why only listening? Why can't I gain moksha through going somewhere? Why can't I gain moksha through Char Dham Yatra? Why can't I gain? And why can't I gain moksha? And why I have to listen only to you and only to your parampara? There are so many ashrams all over. I can do ashram hopping, morning class, I can go somewhere else, evening class, I can go somewhere else. And there are so many, and I can go on a little round of Mahatma visitations. So many people are there. And then why can't I get moksha this way? What is this pramana? Why are you so fanatic about pramana vichara, pramana operation, etc., etc.? And so this is called pramanagata samshaya. Doubt centered on what is this pramana, why, how does it operate, all these things. Then, as though that was not enough, another set of doubts are centered on what is the subject matter of Vedanta. What is the subject matter of Vedanta? In other words, what is it that is to be known? Prameya. That which is to be known is called Prameya. That which is to be known is self. Okay, then let me know the self. Why you are bringing in this Ishvara? I don't like Ishvara. Why? Because the person has some kind of an authority issue, poor thing. And so all that is directed against Ishvara. Why are you bringing in Ishvara? Everything was fine until you brought in Ishvara. So then what is this Ishvara? And then this Ishvara is there in the temple. I have to bow down, and there is always this separation, Ityadi, all these things. So for that, if there are doubts post Shravanam, and if, again we have to say if, then we say what? Mananam. Then Mananam is to be done. Mananam is again what we do in satsang, Mananam, and one's own self-study, Mananam. And as Pujya Swamiji would say, sometimes in time, suddenly something becomes very, very clear. And Pujya Swamiji would say, while standing under the shower. Why shower? Because hot water on the head and blood flow is increased. And so the proper thinking comes as a result. He would say that. So this is what is Mananam. Nididhyasanam, the internalization of Vedanta, is yet another issue. It's not that Shravanam has not worked. Shravanam has worked, doubt still persists. And then that is why we do Mananam. Shravanam has worked, but then bad habits still persist. Bad habits means what? Any habit that tells me that I am subject to sorrow is a bad habit. Yeah. Bad habit doesn't mean smoking, drinking, don't think like that. That's not what. Bad habit means any kind of an addiction, and because this is really to be seen in the form of a program of de-addiction to samsara. We have already defined samsara. And so a program of de-addiction to samsara, that is basically how we have to understand this. And so this is what Nididhyasanam is. And frequently Nididhyasanam is mistaken for this Prasankhyanam as though it is something else to be done in addition to Shravanam in order to internalize the knowledge. So the internalization of the knowledge has nothing to do with Shravanam. Shravanam has done its job, but then addictive behaviors persist. So we have to look at two things here. One is what? Addictive behaviors and addictive thought, chronic and addictive thought patterns. Both of those things, and in fact they are connected, because when there are chronic thought patterns, they lead to certain chronic behaviors, habits. And so the removal of these habits is what is needed for this knowledge to be made into one's own. Otherwise it is somebody else's knowledge. And even though one may be Shrotriya, still one may say, Upanishad says, I am Brahman, you are also Brahman. And so there is some kind of a little bit of a gap. And so this is what we can share some thoughts and ideas about, and then also have some, towards the end of the talk, have some practical tips on how to overcome how to facilitate more of this assimilation of the knowledge, because this is what people want. What should I do in my day-to-day life? And as long as Pujya Swamiji was in the body, all the people who organized his talks would always want one topic. He would say, okay, I'll talk about the Bhagavad Gita. Please talk about Bhagavad Gita in day-to-day life. Bhagavad Gita is about day-to-day life. No? And then Upanishad. Please talk about Vedanta in day-to-day life. Upanishad in everyday life. And so like that, many talks he would indulge them. And then talk about whatever he wanted to talk about. But really this shows that that is where the gap, whatever gap one perceives, is most deeply felt and deeply because of this misunderstanding that there is something to do. Where does this misunderstanding come from? This is a very important question. Where does this misunderstanding come from? It comes from many things, but generally the habitual misunderstanding that one has to do something all the time comes from a certain way in which we categorize the entire universe. The whole Jagat is categorized into three ways, and then this is the beauty of Vedanta, because this categorization is centered on oneself, centered on the I. It's all centered on oneself. Everything in Vedanta is all about me, 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 me. That's why the word for analysis in Vedanta is called Mimamsa. It's all about me. Okay? So therefore, here we say that this threefold categorization of all the things in the Jagat. First one is what? Things that can be perceived directly. What's the word for that? Pratyaksha. Akshnaha Prati. Akshan means that's all. So that which is directly perceived. Pratyaksha. One category of things. All the things in the world which can be directly perceived. Then there are many things which are not directly perceived. What are they called? Paroksha. Akshnaha Paraha. So that which is away from the sense organs, not directly perceived. Now these two are not watertight categories, because that which is paroksha can in time become what? Pratyaksha. This is important point. Because this is the orientation towards Vedanta study also, and that is why I'm talking about this. So that which is paroksha in time becomes pratyaksha. Like you read about Valley of Flowers, which is getting ready to bloom. When? Next month. They say in October it will bloom. Where is the Valley of Flowers? Where is it? It's on the way to Badrinath. On the way to Badrinath, beautiful riot of colors, Valley of Flowers, you read it. And this knowledge is what? Paroksha. Indirect. You maybe saw a video, but you haven't actually gone there. You maybe read an article, or maybe somebody who went there last year came and told you. So it is indirect, it is away from you. Then you make up your mind to go there and experience the Valley of Flowers directly. Then what does it become? Pratyaksha. So paroksha then becomes pratyaksha. So two categories we have discussed. What are they? Pratyaksha, paroksha. Then there are the third one is Nitya Paroksha. Nitya Paroksha. Always away from you. Like what? Swargadipati. Like heaven. Heaven, we don't find any heaven returned people. Yeah. We find people who have gone to space and come back. Because there is a category of, very small category of people who don't know what to do with the money. And then, what do? They climb on this ride to nowhere. Somewhere they touch the, Mahakasya Prishthe, te Anubhutva. So they go somewhere and it is some kind of a space thing, and then they come back. So at least you can find out from them what was space like, how did you experience, what was it like. But heaven returned, you will never encounter. Why? Because of Goddess Maya. She makes sure that there is no more, what is that called? There is not anything there to remember at all. Always it will be fresh. So Nitya Paroksha. So we have what? Pratyaksha and Paroksha and Nitya Paroksha. Where does the Atman come? We can't say Pratyaksha. Why? Because it's not being the object of the sense organ is the first thing we study, Tattvabodha, etc. We cannot say it is Pratyaksha. Can we say it is Paroksha? Yeah, I like to say it is Paroksha because it seems so far away. We cannot say it is Paroksha. Why? Because that which makes me say it is Paroksha is itself what is called Atma. That because of which I can say there is a big distance between myself and Atma, that itself is Atma. And what kind of Atma? Self-evident Atma. Which is why in every Vedanta class we keep asking the famous question. What is the famous question? Are you here? Huh?
Yes.
Yes. Don't scare me. So, are you here? Means what? Yes. You can never answer no. Just like, are you asleep can never be answered yes. This question, are you here, can never be answered no. Because you are here. And this is the sure way of demonstrating what? The self-evident I. By many names, same meaning. Self-effulgent. If you want to sound very fancy and impress your friends, you will say Atma is self-effulgent. Otherwise you say self-evident. Nitya Siddha, Siddha Vastu, etc. Like this we can say. So then you cannot say it is Paroksha, because of which I am able to make the erroneous conclusion that it is Paroksha itself is what? Atma, is I. So it is not Paroksha, it is not Pratyaksha. And if it is not Paroksha, what to talk of? Nitya Paroksha, not possible at all, like heaven, etc. So therefore, we have to make up a new word. So we take the word Paroksha, distant, away from me, and then you negate that with the negative particle aparoksha. Virodharthi, in form of the opposite. It is opposite to paroksha. It is nitya aparoksha. In fact, that is a Mahavakya. Sakshad aparokshad Brahma. So this is what is called, this word aparoksha that is only used for Atma, nothing else. No other thing in the universe is qualified for this. Why? Because Atma, no other thing like the Atma. That's why it deserves its own word. But when you say Atma, what is it? What is it that is aparoksha? What is it that is evident? What is it that is never away from me? And for that we have to say that which makes you say yes when I ask the question, are you here? What is it that says yes? That is that, so in that yes are hidden two things. What is the first thing? When you say, are you here? Yes, I exist. Aham asmi. Asmi is there. So, existence is hidden. Hidden means it's not very obvious to see that because we take it for granted. It's not hidden for want of knowing. But it is not obvious because all the things that are existent we know as pratyaksha. We know through anumana and all other means of knowledge. Here, since we don't know this as using a particular means of knowledge, Atma does not require a particular means of knowledge for it to be established. So therefore, it is as though hidden. And so therefore, it is aparoksha. But then, when I say I am, yes, I am here, that means what? So, one thing is, I exist. I exist. Then, the second thing we are saying, when we say I exist, I am, the second thing that you are saying is, because I can ask the question, how do you know you exist? I know. I know I am. So, this I am, which is what? Sati, existence. And I know, Chit. The two are married together. You cannot separate. Because that I know is non-separate from the existence. And the existence, what kind of existence is it? It's a sentient, conscious existence. So you cannot separate the sentience, I know, from the existence, I am. So the knowledge of the existence is as good as the existence because the existence is non-separate from that sentient consciousness, from that awareness. Then little less obvious, but again, very easily we can understand is, how long do you say I am? Are you here now?
Yes.
Yes.
So, a few signs of life. How about now?
Yes.
Now? Yes. Now?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Now? How long is the length of now? What kind of a measuring tape do we need to measure the now? Is the now ending now? No, because it is now. How about now? Now, come on. How long are you going to keep on asking this? So the length of time cannot be recalled now. This cannot be measured. And that which is immeasurable is what? Is the witness of time. That's why I can, in the olden days, we could dial one number. I forgot what that number was, but to know the time. Okay? Because this was before cell phones and all this synchronized, digitalized time, etc. In India, you could call a number.
174.
Hmm?
174.
Yeah, see, good for you. So, I don't know what happens when you dial 174 now. Don't try now. Yeah. So when you dial 174, there would be a very nice lady with an English accent who would say, the time now is 11:10 and 5 seconds. And then 5 seconds later, what she would say? The time now is. And the now, she had to always say now. She was constrained to say now because it was all about now. She was the witness of time. This operator, the voice, the recorded voice of the operator, she is the witness of the time. And then the now is marking the time. If I am marking the time, that means what? I cannot be subject to time and marking the time. Can I do that? No. That means I am timeless. I am what? First, I am. I exist. And what is this existence in the form of? Sentience. Sentience means what? Knowledge. Sentience means knowledge. We have to see that. And then, and how long does this sentient existence last? Now. Unending. This is what is Ananda. This is the Ananda, which is actually in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is described as Ananta, unending. But if you say this is Satchida, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, then there won't be many takers. So the Upanishad has to convert the word Ananta into Ananda from the standpoint of the human quest. And what is the human quest? We can say happiness, we can say so many things. But it is not really happiness. Because if I ask you the question, how long you want to be happy, what will you say? Forever. Nobody says, oh God, please give me 5 minutes of happiness and I'll never ask for anything ever again. Big lie. So nobody will say that. Nobody will say, I want 5 seconds or 5 minutes of happiness. And even if I say that, then I will want an extension. Oh Lord, yes, yesterday I said only 5 minutes are enough, please extend it. Please extend it. So this is the extension that I want. I am not wanting the happiness itself unless that it should be extended. So what is this extension? It should be free of constraints, limitations. Definitely time-wise limitation, space-wise limitation, and what's the third one? Object-wise limitation. Desha-kala, vastuha, all these, it should be aparichinna. Now, where are you going to find this? Where are you going to find this object which is not subject to time, which is not subject to place, and which is not subject to what? Object-wise limitations. Free from limitations, where are you going to find? Keep looking. That's all we can say. Keep looking good luck for you to keep looking. And the mistake that is made is this is the fundamental mistake, is that we heard the word adhyasa today, paratra, anyatra, anyasya, avabhasa. So the transposition of something onto something else. So what do I want is forever. And so where do I transfer it? Onto the fourth marriage. This time it must be forever. They write in the wedding vows. Okay? How is it possible? This is not going to work at all. So forever means what? That means it has to be free of all these things. But whatever is pratyaksha, is now coming back to that discussion. Whatever is pratyaksha is what? Is not going to be forever. Why? Because it is an object. And that which is an object means it is put together. And anything that is put together, what? Falls apart. This is what we know. So, when I say it is an object, then that means there is a cognizer-cognized difference. Cognizer free of time, cognizer free of space, cognizer ananta, ananda, and cognized what? None of the above. This is not the ultimate conclusion. This is Vedanta 101. Okay, beginning Vedanta. We have to first make a distinction between the cognized and the cognizer, because that which is an object of cognition is totally unlike the one that is cognized. Then, after doing that, after making this separation, we cannot stick with this separation because we have another kind of duality. This is what we have, one more duality we have between the cognizer and cognized. Then we have to swallow up that duality by saying anything that is cognized is not away from me. Oh, but this is a very big leap. How can I say that anything that I see, anything that I objectify is myself alone, is not away from me? It's not a big deal. It's very simple actually. Because when I look at something, then we see what is there. Satchidananda is there. Seer is Satchidananda. Seen is also what? Satchidananda, because the whole Jagat is described in the Shastra as Satchidananda. Plus, Satchidananda plus. Plus what? Name and form. Name and form, or word and meaning. Word and meaning, word and meaning. Everything is word and meaning, or we can say name and form. And so the name and form is like a shell, an upadhi. And the Satchidananda is the filling. Like all other sweets. All the sweets are all filling. Modak. Modak means agent of happiness. Okay? Yeah. And so modak is like that. You have a tasteless pastry, bland. Either made of, I'm coming to that, yes. So, Swamiji got very excited. I'm happy. So, we roll out the pastry. Okay? That pastry is some dough.
Wow.
Bland. When we were children, we say, why bother putting this in? We would ask our mothers, why are you bothering to put this in? And then there would be a ball of calories. Sugar or jaggery, coconut, lots of ghee. Okay? We make that into balls. And then the children would be given the work of dealing with the dough. Because if the children were in charge of making the balls, no balls would be left. Okay? They as well have to say goodbye to the sweet bit. And so then, what do? You fill it up and then you pinch it on top. That's why the modak is not a laddu, it's pinched on top so that it holds its shape and the filling doesn't come out. The filling has a name. What is the name? Purna. What is Purna Madaha? Purna Midam. Yes. Even our sweets are Vedantic. Okay? Sweets are Mahavakya in action. Here, And then why you want Vedanta in day-to-day life, I don't know. Because here is where we have Vedanta, we already have. All the Indian ladies know Vedanta in day-to-day life. Maya this, know that, and even the other one, what is that called? Puran, Koli, the Purna. Everywhere the word Purna comes. And so, filling the jacket of this hoodie, which it is wearing, is what? Word and meaning, upadhi, namarupa. And what is inside, that sweetness, is what? Satchidananda. Satchidananda, etc. So as children, when the mother was not looking, we would slowly peel off everything and then eat that. Eat the Purna alone. This is called Samadhanam. Okay, only so, but this is, this, but even, so as an adult we know that it is all Purna alone. In fact, just the Purna tastes too sweet, too much. Only children can eat. And then it is a, what should I say, if you keep eating too much Purna, it is a recipe for diabetes. Okay? That's what will happen. So much sugar, so much jaggery. So therefore, we appreciate the so-called container, as though container in which it comes, we appreciate while focusing on the Purna. The same thing we have to do in terms of our relationship with the Jagat, with the universe, in terms of this owning up or internalizing Vedanta. There is nothing to avoid, there is nobody to avoid, there is nothing to go away from, there is nothing to go towards, there is nothing to gain, there is nothing to lose. This is all it is. All that is there is you, and that is basically what we have to see. And the topic of the word internalizing Vedanta means something which is very interesting. Internalizing means it is external right now. It's a concept. It may be something that I have to make my own. Internalize. Make internal. That is what is the meaning of the word internalize. Make internal means what? Make internal means it is not internal. Then what is the reason why it is not internal? Because there are many other things that have become internal. Which should be what? External. This is what we are doing in the meditation. Externalize that which does not belong, because for internalizing Vedanta, Vedanta is neither internal nor external, it is you. This is all we are constrained to talk about it like this, please understand. So, in order to make this my own, in order to assimilate this, what should I do? So, some housekeeping is required. Because if you don't clean the room for a few days, what will happen? Yeah, you know, everybody knows what must. Right? And so I don't have to tell. Yeah. Everybody has experienced that. Everybody knows. Don't clean your house, then so many things will happen. And so there is one, what is that? In America, there is one TV show which I was watching when I was in the airport in between two planes. So I was sitting at the gate and they had some TV there, and I was just watching because it was still 1 hour or 2 hours for my flight. So sitting at the gate and watching that, it was so engrossing I almost missed the flight. I was like, oh, I have to get on. And this TV show, I forgot its name, it's full of the people whose house is so crowded that, yeah, something like that. I don't know the name of it. House is so crowded, even for the camera to go, the crew of the camera crew to go in, there is no space. And then this family I saw, full of boxes, full of this thing. And then they complained the cat was lost, but it was in one of the bedrooms. Behind all the things, the pet cat, it came out. Because the poor thing was trapped from the floor to the ceiling. And cats are so agile, they can climb over everything. But imagine if the cat was trapped, how many things they must have done. All kinds of things, problems, some, what is that called, shopaholic problems, buying too many things and not cleaning, not putting things away. And so then they were first given, the family was given 2-3 hotel rooms for the whole family to go and stay and have a little holiday. Because the cleaning crew will come and clean everything up for free, because they are being very open and giving their lifestyle for everyone to see. And so for that, they would go and stay in the hotel for 2-3 days, and then the cleaning crew will vacuum and take away first all these donation trucks will come. Salvation Army, all these causes. And then the donation trucks, all the boxes are piled up, sent away. And then what else? Then they would bring in new furniture, clean up, paint the place and hand over the key to them. First blindfold them and then say, and then the family would be, so wonderful, so nice. And then they would leave them with a warning. In 4 or 5 months you are going to come without any notice. And you have to keep it like this itself, like this they had. This is how the TV show is. And so therefore, anything, that which is to be internalized, in fact that which is the only thing that is to be internalized is as though external. Why? Because of adhyasa. Because of this adhyasa, I'll talk about that a little more in a bit. Because of this mistake, and that which should be outside is what? Inside, also because of adhyasa. There are many kinds of adhyasa. 2 are discussed. First is anatmani, atma adhyasa. In everything that is not I adhyasa. Seeing the I in the not I. That can also be a statement of Atma-jnanam, but that is not how we are talking about it here. Seeing the I there in that which is finite. That is what, anatmani, atma-adhyasa. Then atmani, anatma-adhyasa, the opposite of that. In the Atma, that is Satchidananda, free of time, free of death, free of all kinds of limitations, I see only limitations because the body has dharma. The attributes of the body are put on to what? Atma. So these are the 2 ways in which there is a mix-up. These are the 2 predominant forms of adhyasa that plague us and deny the joy of Atma-jnanam, deny the joy of internalizing this. So therefore, we need to somehow repair somewhere and then allow, when we are doing Shravanam, allow the teacher to throw away boxes that do not belong. And boxes are not possessions. Here, everything that makes you feel boxed in is a box. Okay? And what is that? Notions, pet seeds, ideologies, mistakes about nobody loves me, nobody wants me. Yes, I am Atma, but ... There is no but. There is no ... That is it. I am Atma, I am Satchidananda. Full stop. No, that is okay, but I am still a human being. What do you mean you're a human being? That itself is a superimposition on the I, which is free of whether, animalness, humanness, allness. This is what it is. But we get away. We get away with saying, okay, that is on. See, we have become vachalas, means we have become very erudite in our speech. We say that is on the level of paramarthika. Vyavaharically speaking, however, this is what is the problem. Stop speaking Vyavaharically. What Vyavaharika? Where is it? No, it is there. It is in the form of back pain. Back pain is not there, front pain. Some pain, come there. That itself is a pain. Things like that is a pain. So the whole, what is that, Vyavaharika, Paramarthika, and what's the other one? Pratibhasika. These are what? Cognitive, pedagogical tools. They are there because the mix-up exists. They are there so that one can delineate and see whether I am in my own mithya within mithya, which is called pratibhasika, my own personalized reality, which is what? I see it, therefore it is there. This is pratibhasika. Or, it is there, therefore I see it. Vyavaharika. Then paramarthika, to delineate. Paramarthika means what? What Jagat? This is what is paramarthika. What Jagat? And so this is while this delineation, while these categories are important in the beginning of the study, they must be done away with towards the end of the study. In the 10th chapter of the Panchadashi, Natakadipa, it is suggested that the person who is studying throw away all the books of the Upanishad and the Shastra in the river. Please do Visarjanam. Okay? Yeah. And that is not a sacrilegious act. It is not a sacrilegious act at all. It is in fact a very important way to not use the categories as a crutch. The categories must be categories, and the categories are all to be thrown away. Everything is to be thrown away because each thing is not describing the Atma, because the Atma cannot be described as an object. They are all Lakshana, indicating the Atma. And so, the throwing away of the categories is very, very important. That's the second thing. First is the notions and making room for this internalization. And how do I make room for this internalization? I throw away that which doesn't belong. Shravanam takes care of most of it if I allow it. But if, like in the TV show, I saw the middle son stand like this and not allow the TV crew in because he was very invested in things not being thrown away, then who do we have to blame? We cannot say teacher is not teaching properly or the Vedanta text is not okay. We cannot say that. We have to see that it is our own. We have to do some homework here. Homework does not mean prasankhyanam. That's not the homework we are talking about. This is all preparatory things. Then the final thing is, there are many things we can talk about. Just a few important things. One last thing I'd like to leave with is to drop the need for validation, approval seeking, because it is a very, very big crutch. The desire to be noticed. Somebody should look at me. Why? That is my question. Why should people look at me? Somebody should approve me. Why? And of course the answer is very clear. I do not approve of myself. That's why I am looking for approval. And then, so, this is a very important crutch in the beginning, but then we have to let that go. Because as long as this crutch is there, I will never feel free. One will never feel free, because how can somebody who is having a walker to walk or bound, God forbid, bound to a wheelchair, how can they feel free? They will not feel free. So the crutch is just that. I use it until which time I am able to walk freely. How do I know that I am able to walk freely or not? Try throwing one crutch away. Okay, another one is there, don't worry. So, this way, validation seeking, this is very important. Whether one is in whichever ashrama, one is in a grihastha ashrama, or one is a brahmachari, or whatever it is extremely important. Otherwise, one keeps on becoming a bhikshu. Oh, but I am allowed to take bhiksha, not this kind of bhiksha, okay? Yeah, this kind of bhiksha, approval bhiksha, you do not need. And so this we can notice within ourselves what are the times, and because there might be certain times one is triggered by certain things, and those are the periods in one's life when one is feeling challenged, and therefore one is approval seeking too much in that time. Or in certain places, is the approval fishing, approval seeking happening? Or is there certain, we notice in ourselves the pattern of when, where, and how I seek approval, and also finally, from whom do I seek approval? That is also very important, because that is itself a place of adhyasa, a place where I have put on that person a certain attributes. Usually it is a Shobhana Adhyasa, some positive attributes I have transferred on that person, and I am looking to that person to approve of me. And that is a sure recipe for samsara. That's when one becomes a samsarin. What is samsarin? One who is in samsara. Okay? And so therefore, you don't want to be a samsarin because of this. Another English word. Okay? Yeah. So, like Vedantin, the one who is in Vedanta. So from samsarin to Vedantin, we go. We take this journey from samsarin to Vedantin. What is that journey? From Boham to Soham. That is the journey. Okay, and so therefore the more one drops the need for approval seeking, you have to starve that. Starve that need, and then when that need is starved, after a while it adjusts, because it is not really a need. The more I rely on myself, then we find that there is a very big leap, a quantum leap between internalizing, gaining, and internalizing this knowledge.
Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.